So they meet up with an English ship, the Unicorn, and it's a brig of war, so it's a fairly small ship. And it had been searching for Jenny because she was shipwrecked. They found some people who had been on the same ship with her, but their boat went a different way. So the colonel pulled his strings and got, the Navy to go looking for his daughter. And there were some wealthy people on board the ship who wanted to try and see if the sea helped their health. That was a fairly common thing back at this time, to try and go to sea or go to the tropic places, go someplace else to try and improve your health. Now, if you were living in England at this time during the Industrial Revolution, there was a lot of coal smoke, there was a lot of bad air, and I mean, people were literally dying from smog. So going into the country, going out to sea, was beneficial to these people. Um, and the family splits up, and the two middle children decide to stay there, while Fritz, the oldest, and Franz, the youngest, go off to England. Fritz goes off to England because he wants to marry Jenny. He already has his father and mother's permission. He's First thing he's going to do when he meets her father, the colonel, and say, "Hey, I want to marry your daughter." Now, the dad is sending them off to England with a bunch of spices, which are valuable, a bunch of pearls, which are valuable, and anything that he thinks could be of value. Plus, he's also sending them with the coins and jewels and such that belonged to the captain of the ship that they were on, with the hopes of his boys returning them to the heirs of the captain, because they don't really have use for him, and it is the captain's property, and it should go to his family. The Captain Littlestone of the Unicorn was impressed with the thing that he sought, with their colony. And the reason why the father decided to say, "Hey, let us be under England," is that Switzerland is a landlocked country. Switzerland is not on the ocean. There's no way to get a ship from Switzerland to the ocean. The rivers are not big enough to take like a full ship of war up and down the rivers away from Switzerland, and Switzerland has no ports. To get to the ocean from Switzerland, you have to go through Italy or Germany and France. And I think Austria, maybe. Yeah, Austria is landlocked too, but it has some good sized rivers. But there's no way to get from Switzerland to the ocean. So the father decides, "Hey, England found us, and so we'll be a colony of England." Now, at this point in time, England controlled the oceans, pretty much all of them. The United States was barely a country at the time. This was right around the Napoleonic Wars, the War of 1812. So the United States, yes, did have a small navy and did have a sizable privateer fleet, which weren't that much better than pirates, but they were a little bit better than pirates. But the US didn't really have a navy, and England controlled the waters. And that's how England managed to beat France in the Napoleonic Wars, because England just controlled the waters and was able to just pull massive amounts of material from all over the world, while France was kind of like, "We have what we have and we can't get any more." So now that they have a connection to the outside world, they can keep themselves supplied with the things that they can't make themselves. As I've said before through this entire book, they don't have iron. They have no way of making any more steel. They have no way of making gunpowder. So these are the things that they don't have, but now that they have a link to the outside world, and they have things of value. They have vanilla, they have spices, they have sugar, they have they have sugar, they have spices. Vanilla is a spice, so they have these things that they can trade. They can trade furs. They don't have much of anything else, but they have plenty of food, so that makes them a good stopping point for, vessels crossing whatever ocean they're in the middle of. But so here we kind of have a happy ending. They have three new people coming onto the island, three people leaving the island. So the number of people on the island is about the same. And I kind of like the ending of the book. It's like everything turns out fairly neatly. And yeah, I enjoyed this book. I hope you enjoyed it too.